Here we are.
Hey guys, welcome. We're back with another Ball Raw USA right here on the Ball Podcast Network. I'm Gary Otto. We're right here with Dr. Ball. Hi, Uwe. How are you doing today?
Good. I mean, I came back yesterday from the American film market in Los Angeles, and we showed Citizen Vigilante, got good response. We have three offers from USA. We now negotiate between the three companies. We hope we can make a deal. We really want a theatrical release. And not a release on one screen. I mean, it has to be a little more serious. And so that's where we're negotiating on. And we will see how far that goes. Army Hammer came to the screening. He was there to talk to people. He will do a lot of press uh, about with Citizen Vigilante. And I told a lot of these film companies, look, Army Hammer is a real A-list star. He was just canceled, but he's young, and he can act. So it's not like you don't get him. Maybe you get him in Joe Rogan. I mean, you get that guy everywhere, because all the big podcasters, I think, will want to talk to him. Not only about the scandal, but also about the comeback and the Citizen Vigilante. So, and I told to all the distributors, guys, you don't know what you have here. It's different as you have a middle-aged, whatever. Let's say you have Christian Slater. So what's new, right? So I mean, it's like he's not getting to Tucker Carlson, but Army Hammer. I mean, you can put him in any talk show. You can get him in The View, maybe. Like you get him in Entertainment Tonight. So and that's what I told every distributor. I said, look, you will get hundreds of millions of social media contacts with him.
Yeah, yeah. When he had that controversy, it was all over the news everywhere. So
Yeah.
his potential comeback will be also all over the news everywhere. Even
Yes.
if it's not quite even if it's not a successful comeback, which I hope that it is, don't get me wrong.
Yeah.
Um, Even if it's not, everybody's going to be watching. All eyes are going to be on Army Hammer at that time. And I think that the publicity will pay for itself.
Yes, I mean that's the thing with Run now. I mean Run, I got a lot of good feedback. People that watched Run, they really like it. That's good. So let's see how it develops. But of
Mm,
course, in Run, there are like six, seven actors everybody knows, but there's
yeah.
not one real star, right? In Run, all that cast, you will not get into Joe Rogan or like big podcasts. They will not book them, but Army Hammer you can. And so we will see. I mean, first of all, I'm happy that the release of Run happened and that it's out there and that people watch it. And I hope more people watch it. Of course, we're promoting it where we can. In some countries, it is still not out, like in UK. Quiver told me they didn't release it in UK so far. They're waiting 3 weeks. And I had no clue because I was advertising it everywhere, like watch it. And then people from UK contacted me and they said, yeah, but where? I mean, and I said, yeah, on Amazon or Apple and whatever. And they said it's not there. So then Quiver told me, oh, we wait for a moment. So they went to North America first. And then we see, like that's about Run. It's a good test too to see how much TVOD revenues you can do with this basically self-released movie worldwide. It's on Fandango. It's I think 10 different streamers have it, but I don't know how much money will come in. But what I saw also at the market was in a lot of countries only uh, Prime or YouTube works. Like people told me in Latin America, if you put a movie up and it costs $10, nobody buys it. But they say they're regularly now making 150,000 bucks back just on YouTube because like 50 million people watch it.
Oh, because like the commercials, you mean?
Yes, that's the thing. In Africa, in Asia, in Latin America living like 3 billion people, right? So, of more. And they just don't have money.
Yeah.
They're not like willing to pay. That's what the message was. We talked to Brazil guys, Argentinian guys. We talked to Korea. We talked to Thailand, the Philippines, like various buyers. And they all said, yeah, of course, we're putting it up first for money. But it's like, they said basically they do 95% of all their revenues based on advertising, free watching. So, and that was interesting. That's sometimes good. You go to a film market, you get basically the thing from the front lines. You have in Europe and North America still strong sales with people buy movies, they pay for it and watch it. And because they know otherwise they have to wait like 6 months or something. But in other countries, they say after 4 weeks, we can put it up basically for free against advertising dollars.
Well, in the case of your films, not all of your films are on streaming, only a couple. And when they are on streaming, like Netflix will put Rampage on for like a quarter, and then it'll pull it off for a year, and then it'll put it back on at random. You know what I mean? They don't, so you can't just go on streaming and get what you want at any time. And that's what the advantage is, I think, of actually owning it, is
Yeah.
they can kind of pull it really whenever the fuck they want. It's bullshit.
No, I agree. It's also like I talked with people about DVDs and Blu-rays in the market too, and they said like, no, it's over. And I said, yeah, but did you ever read that articles that you don't own it even if you buy it digital? It's like basically, even if you bought it, if Amazon loses the rights to a title or Netflix or whatever, or whoever you bought it from, your title will disappear.
You know what fucking happened to me recently? This actually is in the same category.
Yeah.
I spent over the past 20 years, I have spent maybe over 10,000, maybe $15,000 on films on the Xbox movie marketplace, right?
Okay.
And
Yeah.
what did they do like a couple months ago? But they pulled down their marketplace. And
Oof.
I'm and what the fuck am I gonna do with all my what the I'm gonna have to buy everything all over again.
So they're gone. Like that, you lose the movies are gone. They're deleting it from the database.
Not all of them are gone, but a lot of them are gone. What happened was a lot of the licenses transferred over to Amazon right now, but
Okay.
really they could pull those licenses whenever the fuck they want. And they made that pretty clear when they pulled half my library. You know what I mean?
Could
So
you not download it on a hard drive or whatever for
they
it?
don't let you. They don't let you. You have to stream it. It's bullshit. It's
Yeah.
100% nonsense. You have to be connected online for it to work. You can't do it offline, which is bullshit.
Yeah.
And then you can't download it too. So
That's crazy.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. So I regret it, honestly.
No, and that shows that uh physical media, it
Mm.
makes still sense. To
Yeah,
have it just in case. And I feel like I'm happy that I have so many DVDs and Blu-rays still. So I closed the deal at the Texas Chainsaw.
yep.
Yeah, I closed the deal for Run with Massacre Video, and so we signed. And then I said, should I deliver? And I didn't heard from them anymore at all, like that silence. And I said, but why you signed the contract with me? Louis Justin, right? Who did also, I think, what else he did? He did Postal. And so he's not answering me anymore. I don't know what the fuck is going on because I told him, like, Run is out now. So the DVD and Blu-ray has to come now. And, to sell it, we need that DVD and Blu-ray done. And I'm ready to deliver the stuff to him, and I didn't heard from him back. Maybe he watches that podcast and he comes back, but it didn't happen.
Or
And
maybe he just doesn't understand the film and thinks that it's like, because the film is like showing all different sides of the crisis. It's not taking any one side, I
yes,
don't think. And people might look at, let's say, your Twitter feed or your X feed here and get the wrong impression. You know what I mean? That it's like that the film, you know what I mean, is this extremist content when I don't see you as that, but some people do. Some people see you as, oh, Uwe Ball is turned all right wing, blah, 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 ultra right wing. And
The
some
movie is
people who,
I agree, but the movie's not. And
yeah,
the thing is also when you see the first like little reviews, they're very even out. They say we show also with a lot of empathy the whole Amanda Plummer story with the pregnant Selena girl, right? So I mean that's it's like I think the movie shows really clearly that it's a complicated subject matter where a lot of people lose, where a lot of people are not like happy with the results, even not the refugees. So that's the thing. And that the in a movie, of course, you go farther as in a documentary. That's the reason I did the escalation in the end. Like it's like this one little thing, what brings the thing to an explosion. And and I feel like we showed it really in a way that you can take parts with everybody. You feel empathy with everybody. Even with James Russo and Ulrich Thompson, who attacked the asylum camp, you still feel for them in a way. You feel like they got treated like shit. The mayor of the city is kind of arrogant to them. He doesn't like, he acts like he gives a shit if their boat rental goes bankrupt. And I felt that's important. But that's also, I think, the sign of a good film where you have a lot of strong characters uh, parallel going.
yeah, no, it's like Shortcuts, Raymond Carver. You know
Yeah,
what I mean?
yes, so I mean that's the same. And a guy from a Munich newspaper emailed me today on Instagram, and he said he cannot write a review in the newspaper because it's not theatrical, but he watched it, he paid it on Amazon, and he said he will talk on his podcast about it. That he thinks the movie is very important because nobody showed this concrete this kind of problem. You know,
Yeah,
yeah, so I
yeah,
think there's not one movie. You have, of course, movies about migrants and immigration, but they're all this kind of more individual. That person comes here and has a problem, or that person comes here and turns into a superstar, or whatever. But that movie Run is really pretty much a little. I compared a little, even if it's totally not like this, like my Auschwitz movie. It shows the center of a thing. The real problem, what's happening, and I just put it in front of you. Boats coming on, nobody wants to do holidays where boats coming on the whole time with refugees, and the little communities, they're getting like totally swamped, and they don't know what to do, and then they have basically almost little jails built, like outside jails in tents, and the government, they're all blah 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 in TV, but the prime minister from Italy will not go there. Like they're like, okay, whatever. Try to give them some food, but it's all easy to talk about stuff. But where these people coming in, it's all the local level, and it's like then the local town has the problem. Look, where I live here in Mainz, like 300 meters down the thing is the refugee Mainz migration camp, basically. So they have like containers where they live. And today there's a little an imbiss where we always go for just a chicken or a hamburger or a curry sausage. So Walter and I went there to the guy where we buy the food. So we ate the food, and then the guy said, "Yeah, you will not see me longer here." And I said, "What do you mean?" Like he said, "No, he has to relocate." They throw him out. He's on a parking spot with this food truck. And then I said, "Why they throw you out? Nothing is happening here." And he said, "An English investor bought that whole lot for 350 million bucks, including all the asylum housing, and they will be all thrown out, and they will
wow.
they will build like condos there." And I said, "Yeah, but what do you want to do with the migrants? Where are they going?" And he said they're going in a bigger camp, like far away from here. So, and uh all of this stuff, like this kind of harsh reality of there's no space, there's like, like it's like it's a messed up situation for all of us for all of them. They think about they have a lot of kids now. They go here to school. Now they move them away, like 20 miles away or whatever. All the kids will go off that school where they are right now. Now they have to get relocated in a totally different school, totally different environment. So you cannot really say they're getting assimilated. They're getting integrated. No, they're getting moved everywhere and like, oh fuck. So that's the thing. It's like it's a total absurd situation. And as I said, it's very bad for everybody involved, including the migrants.
Well, it must be difficult because I bet you that a lot of people don't want that in their community, that they probably get moved around for that reason too, you know?
100%. Look at Berlin. It's always interesting. So in Berlin, the Green Party is all pro-migration like crazy. But every single time they want to build a refugee camp where the Green Party academics live, they're totally like, no fucking way. Like that's the two-faced bullshit. So to the outside, it's the same. You go to Beverly Hills or whatever, they're all pro-migration. But put something in Beverly Hills, like in Brentwood, like put a huge migration camp with Syrian refugees. You will see how what the Karen Bass mayor will get pressure, not here, put them to East LA. That is what's happening, 100%. I mean, it's 100% that this happens, and I think so. This is this kind of we want to be all so good, but not directed in front of our door. But the people who have no money, they're getting them in front of their door.
Well, you're right. Out of sight, out of mind, it's easy for people to say, I take a hard stance with, the victims when they haven't been around these people. They don't know what they're like. They don't know what they're capable of. Some of them might be victims, but some of them might be perpetrators that could do them harm. And I think that is one of the biggest lessons about your film, honestly, is
Yeah.
there's a certain naivety to people throughout this that you want to do the right thing, but can you really amidst all this desperation?
Yes, and then it's also like, uh, look, you can only integrate people if they're not only under themselves. That's another thing, right? If you have so many refugees and migrants, they are all uh, staying under themselves. They never learn a language, like this kind of things. Only
Oh
if you
yeah.
have controlled migration, where you bring controlled people in, and they're going, you divide them up in school. Let's say it this way: you have a school class with kids, and you have three guys from Afghanistan, and the rest are Americans or Germans. You can integrate them. But if you have the half of the class from Afghanistan, they will not migrate any. They will stay on themselves, and they never, they don't assimilate. So that's the problem. That's, by the way, also when I was in the US, a lot of discussions about the US migration and the ISIS and the ICE and whatever. Is the US never had that problem. The US now removed so many people out of US that were urgently needed as workers. And the US doesn't have camps with refugees because all the refugees have to work. They have to work or they're getting nothing. In Europe, it's totally different. They're all getting into the social services and getting everything for free. In the US, they're getting rarely something for free. Most of them right away have to join the workforce to survive. And we had lot of discussions that how absurd it is. In LA, for example, is no more car wash. It's all closed. They're all closed because from car washes, people got deported right away. Like the ICE came and took them. Total bullshit. And then, for example, I went to Benihana, like the tapanaki where they cook in front of you, the chain Benihana, right?
Yeah.
There
Yeah.
was no fucking cook anymore. We were waiting an hour. Normally, you're sitting at Benihana. The cook comes in 10 minutes. He's in front of you cooking. We were sitting there an hour. Nobody came. And then I told the waiter, like, I mean, what the fuck is happening here? And he said, we have nobody anymore. And then the black guy came cooked. Like, so what is in Benihana? So totally absurd, because they do the juggling and whatever. And I feel like, what is going on? And they had like tons of this, like they were empty. Like you can say more as half of this little kitchens where they cook in front of you were gone, like there were nobody. They were just kind of dirty. And if you take like Latins out of the kitchens, out of the car wash, the gardening, the construction, and everything, the industry is done. That's the reality. And that's the mistake what they do in the US right now is they deport way too many people.
Yeah, it's extreme. That's the problem, man.
Yes. Yeah.
The extremism has gotten out of control. Like it's not like it's a problem in concept, but if you take it to too far of an extreme, too fast, and that's what it is that they're doing all this way too fast. Like other regimes in other countries where there's been change, societal change, it's all been very gradual. In Russia, when Putin took away, started, arresting comedians, that was a very gradual, slow process. It wasn't overnight. And Trump, it's only been, I don't even know, 6, 7, 8 months or something. And I just feel like so much shit has happened that people are rejecting it, you know?
No, I mean, that's the thing. Look, for me, it's like this. And we had, like, as I said, discussions in LA about it too. Look, as you know, I supported Trump against Harris because I felt Harris is a total loser. Not because I'm so a big Trump fan, but Harris was not
I
good.
agree. I
No.
agree.
But now,
It was hard for me to defend her when you told me to defend her. So
yeah. But look, now today in my uwes podcast in Germany, I took this out from the Financial Times and totally trashed Trump. And because this little shit bank in New Jersey is selling his crypto bullshit, right? And they are basically the size of a Starbucks, that whole bank, right? It's an unknown little bank. And they made 2.6 billion bucks in the last 6 months. And that all goes to Trump because he is making his, as you know, this cryptocurrency, the Trump coin, what is basically a total Ponzi scheme, but because it has no value. Think about, I would do the Boll medal, right? So, whatever the coin, the Boll coin, what I print here in a local factory. And then people buy this shit for 3 billion bucks. And it cost me 50 grand to make the coins. So I make 3 billion profit. And of course, exactly this is the proven evidence that you can buy Trump's support. You do this, Qatar, terrorists, Saudis, whatever, they buy these coins 100%. And he gets the news, you just sold 500 million with the coins. Now you go to the White House and you discuss business with him because he owes you, right? It's basically the indirect bribery, like a side hustle where he makes unbelievable about money. And all Eric Trump is the guy who is running this. And I mean, his whole family went from total 1 billion to 10 billion in 6 months. So when he's done in 4 years, no matter in what situation the US will be, he will be on 30 billion bucks private wealth. That's
yeah.
that's happening. And I call things out. I call out Democrats, right wing, left wing in Germany the same. If I see something what is absolutely ridiculous, I go against the person I just supported because I had new informations. I'm not there are people they support Trump no matter what. There are people they supported Harris no matter what. And I'm not like this, like new informations, new analysis, and then new solutions, right? So, and I feel with the tariffs, with the deportation of way too many people who are actually paying taxes in America and actually have jobs, with the personal enrichment, uh, and that he run on free speech, run on all this stuff, and now he sues everybody. I mean, you can say, "Oh, it's free press," but as soon as you say something against me, I sue you for 10 billion bucks. I mean, that's not free press. That's just a dictator. Putin says, you write something about me, I put you in jail, you disappear. Trump cannot do this. So, but Trump, with the BBC now, right? Trump basically says, I sue you for $5 billion in my
which is a crazy amount of money for what it
Yes. No,
is.
it's existential threats. That's what he's doing, right? If you sue the BBC for 10 million bucks, they give a shit. But if you sue them for $5 billion, if they lose this, they're done. Like they're done, even if they're basically public funded. But that's the thing. And he's doing that, of course, on purpose because he knows you can make just this amount up, how he threatened the Wall Street Journal, whatever, right? So New York Times, he's not going for a reasonable amount of money. He's on purpose threatening them with amounts. There are existential threats for them. If they lose the lawsuit, he owns the New York Times. That's the fact. And that's ridiculous. And I feel that's dictator behavior. I know that the Republicans, especially him with the MAGA, whatever, that they're very, very much, um, let's say, mad with because 90% of the media is more left and more woke. But that's not the way to handle it. You handle them if you show that what you said at the election that you live this. You know how people would respect Trump more, even from the New York Times, like left wing, or not left wing, but left liberal media. Let's say Trump would not do all of this. They would maybe start respecting him for trying to do peace at Gaza, whatever, like the good things he tries, right? They would maybe start respecting him. And if he would get like, for example, with the Epstein files, where he just said he wants now that they're getting released, he has nothing to hide. That's totally bullshit, but it doesn't matter. So the thing is like this: they would respect him if he would not do what he's doing now since 5 months. He disallows press people in the White House. All that stuff. If he would take the questions, if he would just sit through the questions, they say Trump, you're fascist, whatever, and he would answer them. Said no, I'm not. Whatever. Then he would maybe gain some respect. But the way he's doing it right now is just like a bully and nothing
Yes.
else.
Yeah, no, he's weak-willed. He's a pussy. That's what it is. And I wish that for somebody who paints himself as being so strong, he should be able to take the tough talk without, you know, threatening to tear down, I'll take his toys and you know what I mean? And go home, basically, essentially. Like he's a fucking big baby.
Yeah, the South Park shows him kind of accurate in his episodes recently. You know.
Yeah, yeah, you've been watching South Park, huh?
Yeah, but you know what is amazing is this: he wants to cancel all kinds of podcast of people. But did he never watch South Park? I mean, look at South Park. There is no bigger insulting, like trashing him into the absolute garbage as South Park. I mean, that's the harshest under the belt.
It is
Uh,
because they can never admit that they're upset. They can never admit when it gets under their skin directly. Same thing with JD Vance in that Halloween costume. You know that it actually bothered him. But he
yeah,
put on that wig and tried to pretend like it was all a big joke because he wants the memes to go away. But they
yeah.
are not going to fucking go away. It's not going to work because everybody knows that's what he wants. It's like their little tactics are so paper thin. The deflection is so easy to decipher. It's easy to tell their tactics.
No, I agree. That's the thing. JD Vance at least tries to distract them. Trump will not. But yeah, but as I said, like South Park is really, really unbelievable insulting against.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
I think it's funny because I like this kind of stuff. But I mean, I can only imagine how furious they are. And it's the same Paramount who canceled Colbert. I mean, if you think about it, right? It's David Ellison, he canceled Colbert, who was criticizing Trump, and gave South Park a $1.5 billion contract, and they trashed Trump like as the fucking rapist, pedophile. crazy ass, has no penis. I mean, you cannot go deeper as South Park there. In like, I mean, I cannot imagine. I think maybe Trump never saw this.
I
You
think that his fucking his X account is I think it's AIDS. I don't think it's him. And I don't think that he talks, I don't think that he's hip to anything in social media. He dances to fucking YMCA. When I hear that song, I think about gay people. You know, like what the fuck? Like, like
yeah.
he's obviously not too hip. So I don't believe that. I think you're right. I don't believe that he's ever seen an episode of
No,
South Park.
no, I can't. I mean, if he would see that, I can only imagine what he would do. He would say like that has to get pulled off the air immediately, or he takes the license away from David Allison. So I mean that's, but we will see, And yeah, but I mean to summarize the AFM, uh, it was a better location, more like in Century City, as Las Vegas last year. You had the mall right there, the Westfield Mall, where the screenings were. The screening of Citizen Vigilante was busy. People watched it. Only one person went out. And when we had like later talks about buying the film, we had a few. They said that's too harsh. We cannot buy this. So few reactions came. I mean, Citizen Vigilante is basically the hardcore form of that's not run.
And you
I
don't want to do any cuts to it.
No, and I mean, of course, there are maybe some blood things. For example, we have a guy, the face gets shot into pieces, like a close up. And I told like some possible buyers, I mean, feel free to cut, reel the gore out. It's maybe 10 seconds, 15 seconds where you really need to cut it out if you want to show the TV or whatever. But I said overall, I see this as R-rated. And we will see. It was like a few people were very, very excited about it, and a few people were very, very concerned what the censorship will say. Also for political content, right? So it's like it's a brutal film, but it's
Oh,
also
I don't. It's not going to make a PG-13. Are you kidding me?
no, no, no. But the question is it an NC-17, right?
Oh,
That could be the problem because there's also sex. So, but I felt when I talked to people there, and I talked to Army Hammer a lot about it. I said, look, here's the deal. When he goes after the judge and the rapist, and yes, there are migrants, he goes after this kind of migrant group who gang raped a girl, right? And they're migrants because gang rapes in Germany, they're all migrants, period. That's the fact. But the point is that Army Hammer's character, Sanders, is also not clean. And I think that was important, similar to what I did with Run. You have empathy and sympathy for a lot of the people, but the cop is also kind of a crook. Daniel Soli's character, right? You can kind of bribe him. He kind of screws over Amanda Plummer. And, like, so, and, but he saves the day in the end, too. So, and that's what I tried with Run. And I think with Citizen Vigilante, he is not personal. It's not a revenge thing like John Wick's dog gets killed and he goes after them. Like the first John Wick. It's not like Charles Bronson in Death Wish where his wife gets raped. No, he's doing that because he's rich and bored. And I think that's kind of an important twist I have in Citizen Vigilante, that you can like kind of support what he's doing to the rapists, but at the same time, you feel kind of in other situations, in other scenes of the film, that he's getting too far. And I wanted that in the audience, that the audience feels like that's maybe a little too harsh what he's doing here. So that the audience starts thinking about it. And we have Costas Mandalore as the Interpol guy who basically says, we cannot just let that go only because we like it. Only because we think a judge is a fucking corrupt asshole. we still cannot have like, okay, now that judge can be shot, and we're not prosecuting it. We don't try to catch the killer. That's the citizen vigilante thing, and I felt that's very important. Even if I'm as a podcaster, when we talk, I'm a lot of times very strict and harsh. But as a filmmaker, where you really put really long work and thoughts into things, I don't think I ever made a right wing movie. I never, because I don't care really about right wing or left wing. I'm not an extremist, but I think you need to put things very harsh in front of people, but you also have to put the doubt in, that this maybe is deserved. And I feel like when I did A Sound of Wall Street, I said also what I really wanted with A Sound of Wall Street is that bankers getting a little scared watching the movie and maybe don't do this shit anymore. They don't betray the people, get 100 million bucks for yourself, but bankrupt the bank and have 5,000 people getting a foreclosure, you know?
In a perfect world, my friend, in a perfect world.
Yeah. No, I know. We all know as filmmakers you don't really have have an impact, but I'm not making movies where the people say in the end, yes, let's kill the migrants,
Yeah.
right? I could never do this, and I would never do this. And
That's what I think that people think the movie is before they've even seen it, is they think that it's that, and it's not. And it should
exactly,
be very clear to people that it's not that is not what the movie is about. It's not about migrants coming and then I'm like, fuck those migrants, we're gonna get them. That's not the
exactly.
movie. Yeah, so you should watch it and give it a chance first before you decide to give it a negative review or talk shit or just
Yeah.
ignore it.
That's why on Rampage, very disturbing for me to see already 21-star reviews on IMDb, where you feel like that people, they didn't watch that film and now it starts again. You remember like all that bad reviews for all the films with people. I mean, when you see the notes, they didn't watch the film. They watched the trailer and gave me 1 point and they hate over Boll. That's very unfair to me. And you feel all the people they wrote a good review, they're very, very much like in detail where you see they actually watched the movie.
Yeah, like, wait a second, hold on a sec. Da, 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 da. Let me find the movie because there was a review that was absolutely ridiculous, and it kind of fits what you're saying. Hold on a second, because these are the people that are pulling down the rating, and they're not even talking about the film in their
No, that shows to
review.
me that they didn't watch it. And IMDb should not allow people to do this, to do even a review if they cannot prove they watched the movie.
Yeah, it's 100% bullshit, and yeah, I wish I could find the actual review. Hold on a sec. I'm scrolling down. Da, da, da. Here it is. Uwe Ball is still being Uwe Ball. Run is a thriller movie written and directed by Uwe Ball. It follows a group of desperate migrants reaching the Italian coast after a perilous Mediterranean journey which impacts locals and tourists in a small coastal town. I literally just got done binging through Uwe Ball's filmography just for this movie, and it was a pain in the ass, but it was all worth it because now I can add another movie from this man, and it was just god awful. Positives for Run. I have no positives for this movie. Negatives for Run. Once again, you have a movie from Uwe Ball that represents everything I hate about this man and his movies in general. The story is nonsensical and it feels half-assed on the writing and execution, but that's pretty normal when it comes to Uwe Ball. So, like, this guy's not saying anything. He's just
Exactly.
saying
Because he
total.
never watched it. He never watched it. And that shouldn't be allowed, right?
Yeah, yeah, it's bullshit. And luckily there's been 9 thumbs down and no thumbs up helpful responses to that. But it pulls the rating down and to like we're at a 6.0, and I think you're right. I think the total is like 23 negative, like at 1 out of 10. And that's bullshit. That's bullshit. 100% bullshit. Because the movie's not that bad. Like 1 out of 10 is like Manos, the Hands of Fate, or something like that.
No, I look when there was another in the Gazette that wrote a review 7 out of 10. I see the movie myself also like from 5 to 8. You can give it anything. You can see it here, a little there, whatever. But it's a 5 to 8 out of 10.
Yeah,
And
it's not a one exactly.
exactly, depending on your personal taste, right? So it's also not a 2 or 3 out of 10. It's not. So
Yeah,
and
fucking Caddyshack 2 is like a 2 or 3 out of 10. Like,
Sharknado 4. So that's the thing. And that's kind of course, again, like always disappointing, but we will see. I mean, where we're also hardworking is on the 23 years later, Return to Zombie Island. So all the old cast would come back. We will get that Indiegogo campaign up soon, then more people can donate. I think we got around 3 times $10,000 from the saying they want to invest big money and be part of the production team. I told everybody like I love it, but don't pay the 10 grand now because I have to first get the movie done, green light, right? So then I said put the money up. But there were only like perks sold, I think, for 3,000 or $3,500 total so far. So but the Indiegogo campaign will kick in and then it will get a little more prominent. And then we go from there. I of course tried to get Lionsgate to invest in it, and they didn't respond at all. I tried to meet them at the FM, no response. And yeah,
blah, blah, blah.
that is
Lionsgate.
fucking
Yeah.
assholes. And no, really, it's and then and then they do like produce movies like the Hal Berry thing, Don't Let Go for 42 million bucks and do $6 million box office without the blink. And here we can shoot a movie for like 3 million bucks. What has made the first one made like 50 million bucks, and including home video, and they don't even answer me. I mean, you feel like are you mental ill? I mean, it's horrible because of course Lionsgate would be the typical best distributor for it because they could also release it maybe on Halloween in a double feature with the old House of the Dead.
Do you know who would be a good distributor? And it would be hard, but Blumhouse, like I say.
But they will not do it. They do only
Yeah.
the production. They don't do acquisitions, right?
Oh, yes, you're right. Okay. And Universal just they don't do anything like budget wise outside of Blumhouse. So, ugh.
I, who's calling me right now? Army Hammer. Wait 1 second. Uh, I call you in 5. So,
Army Hammer.
yeah, and I will talk to him about all kinds of stuff. Yeah, look here, that I got in Hamburg. That's a pen. When I went to the House of the Dead screening, they had pencils. It's a pen with red ink, and you can at the House of the Dead toy thing. Now, yeah, look, I think we summarized it all up. All good news everywhere, and then we will have soon even more news, maybe in 1 week or 2 weeks, and then we go from there. Okay.
So one thing before we go, guys, we are giving away 5 video games for reviews of Ball's Run. Please upload video reviews on X of your review of Run, and we are giving away on November 30th, or is it the 20th? One of those days. I think it's the 20th. Ball will give away 5 video games live to 5 people on his what is that live thing you have? Your Instagram or
Um, Uwes
Oop.
Woche. Uwes Woche.
Yes,
Yeah,
I will
yeah.
have you give away 5 games if 5 people will upload their reviews. And if for some reason we don't have video reviews, I will pick written reviews and we'll give those games away. But make sure you give those reviews out. Make sure that they're dated before November 20th, and we will pick one of you guys. Uh, and we will see you next time on Ball Raw.
Absolutely. Have a good one.
Take
Um,
care.
goodbye. Goodbye.
Bye bye, guys.
So, haben wir
Okay.
that. Perfect. I sent you the link, right?
Yeah.
Okay,